Hello everybody and welcome back to Fallout 76. There's a trading post up there. We need to eat. We need food. And drink. I do. Morgantown Station. Let's explore this area. Cigarettes now. Stim pack. Legendary exchange. We ain't got no legendary things, have we? Suitcase. Ammunition. Beautiful. So I can actually buy ammunition. We don't need any at the moment, do we? 318 of this. Vendor robot.
If you have supplies to trade, I can be of service. Welcome, responder. I am authorized.
Listen to Overseer's log,
supplies.
Morgantown. Would it be in items, maybe? Hello. Morgantown. I have to listen to that, don't I?
Overseer's log, Morgantown. I used to love coming here on weekends, taking flight lessons. Now it feels like I walked into a nightmare. Those scorched things are everywhere. I kept quiet. They didn't see me. I managed to observe them for a bit. Whatever this disease is, it seems to completely take over its host. The ones that used to be human, eventually they go rigid, like some kind of stasis. And if they stay like that for too long, they sort of burn up from the inside out. The suit is in reverse.
Carries around a dustpan.
I wonder what could possibly cause all this. And then I got my answer. It swooped down from the sky, screeching, breathing, infecting everything. I don't know how to fight this. But we need to consider all our options. Even... we find the source of this scorched plague and wipe it from the map before it can leave Appalachia. But first things first, we can't let the disease spread to us. Looks like the responders are developing some kind of inoculation. I'm going to pick up their work. You should too. This is the Overseer. Signing off.
Learn about the Inculation Project. Tune into WGRF Radio. Grafton. Oh crap, there's loads of them. Got an axe. There's more. Gone scorched. Let's get rid of that now. Turrets. Oh crap. Bloody scorched. Bloody zombies that can shoot, man, that's all they are. Oh, you zombie! You mindless monsters. Gotta speak to the bloody sheriff, where is he? Oh, the mayor. He's up there somewhere. Is he still alive though? Okay, I can speak to him, then we can search everywhere for loot and lore. I reckon this is the inoculation project, isn't it, this one? Disease cure. Yeah, inoculation project up there. We'll search this area first, then we'll go up there. Take a folder, I don't know why. Oh god, is that Mentats? Radex. Oh, even better. Need to take some stuff. Pencil. Nope. Steam pack. What was that steam pack? Where did I just find a steam pack? There we go. Take that. So we go upstairs. Event collision course. Fight the Scourge to claim a cargo bot supply drop. Where is that exactly? Where's that happening? Let's have a look on the map. Fire the... what? Fire a flare to call the cargo bot. What? I'm trying to learn about this. Okay, let's have a look. Folks, I've got some exciting news to share. As you all know, Dr. Hudson has been continuing her research in the lab at AVR Medical. Well, she just reported in to let us know that she's made a significant breakthrough, and it looks like an inculation against the Scourge Plague could soon become a reality. Let's all keep our fingers crossed and make sure to do everything we can to help Claire complete her work. Her very survival depends on it, Jeff Nakamura. Scourged research, introduction. The Scourged, a field study, Dr. Claire Hudson. Those of us struggling to survive in the post-war world face countless threats. The search for safe and sustainable sources of food and water would be enough to challenge anyone, but the strange mutated creatures appearing throughout the region greatly increase the danger of day-to-day life. None of these threats, however, compare to the Scourged. To better understand these monsters of the wasteland, I've spent time observing them and gathering information from those individuals lucky enough to survive first-hand encounters with the Scourged. There are still far more questions than answers, but I believe I have made progress in my understanding of these enigmatic and fearsome creatures. Details of specific subjects follow. Scourge beasts. Scourge beasts, the names conjures terrifying images of huge mutated bats that poison the ground and warp living creatures into deadly thralls. Ah. We first learned about the Scourge beasts from the Brotherhood of Steel, whose soldiers encountered the creatures to the southeast. At first nobody believed that what they were describing could be real. We thought it was a bullshit story giving the Brotherhood an excuse to commandeer ammo and supplies. We were wrong. I'll never forget the first time I saw one of those monstrosities' black wings against a blood-red sunset. Talk about reality check. We know far too little about these creatures, but we do know they aren't strictly nocturnal. They also seem equally willing to move alone or in small groups, and they're highly aggressive. Worse than that, they're dangerously radioactive, which I believe is an important clue about their origin. If we ever get hold of one for study, I think we could learn a lot about them. Unfortunately, being anywhere close to a Scourge beast is a near certain death sentence, and not just because of the radiation. I'll cover that more in the next entry. I'd love to give a detailed explanation of what the Scourge Plague is and how it works, but right now we know so little. It just wouldn't be possible. Frankly, it's damn frustrating. What we do know is that living creatures that come into contact with a Scourge Beast sometimes begin to mutate. The victim's skin turns dark, almost black, with a smell of ash. Some kind of biochemical process takes hold at this point. Lesions that burn with intense heat begin to form on the victim's body. The affected creature appears to be covered in smouldering embers. In the case of humans, higher mental function eventually disappears, replaced by extreme, almost animalistic aggression. We call the creatures that are transformed in this way scorched. Needless to say, watching a friend or loved one go through this process is both horrifying and heartbreaking. Worse, there's almost nothing we can do about it. I say almost because we've been able to gather enough information about the Scourge Plague that we might be able to develop a vaccine against it. That's a huge maybe, but we recently found some equipment at the AVR Medical Centre that's in pretty good shape. With the right facilities and a steady supply of Scourge to study, we might just find a way to counter this terrible disease, or possibly even reverse it. Only time will tell. I don't think they'll be able to reverse it. I hope by now that I've made one point crystal clear: the Scourged are lethal. They are nothing less than an existential threat if we cannot find a way to defeat them, or at the very least contain them. There's no reason to think they won't spread far and wide, transforming or destroying everything in their path. We don't know nearly enough about the Scourge to develop real tactics. What we know so far mostly amounts to common sense, approaches for dealing with any deadly predator. I'll summarise these points below. If you're unfortunate enough to encounter a Scourge Beast, likely because it has decided to hunt you, do everything in your power to keep away from it. If you've got a gun and can find an enclosed space to fire from, that's ideal. Scourge Beasts are too big to fit into small spaces. Remember that Scourge Beasts emit strong radiation that, coupled with their powerful bite, should compel you to keep your distance at all costs. If you've got no other choice, you should at least consider using some Radax before you engage the creature at close range. Scourged humans are savage and deadly. While their ability to speak is limited, don't think they're mindless. They retain enough intelligence and memory to use guns and other weapons, and they're hostile to just about everything they perceive as a potential threat. Fight the Scourged as you would a raider, one with a deadly plague. Of vital importance is keeping your distance to minimise the risk of infection. Stay in cover when you can, but give ground when you need to. Do not let them get close. I know there's not much to go on. There's still so much we don't know about these creatures. Hopefully it will help at least a little. This concludes my report. Has anyone seen Larry Pickerman? Everyone, please keep an eye out for Larry Pickerman. He's been missing for a couple of days. If you haven't met him, he's about 6 feet tall, brown hair, green eyes, age about mid-50s. He came in with the last group of refugees. You might remember him as the electrician. We've already read this one. We read that one. I've been a member of responders almost to start. I've read these ones about their brotherhood. Don't let them push you around. Yeah, I've read all these. I've read them messages. Okay, quest completed, final departure. Study Dr. Hudson's research. Oh. Psychological evaluation, Henderson. Begin transcription of audio recording. Dr. Madison, this is Dr. Madison of the responders. I'm conducting a psychological evaluation of patient Olivia Henderson. You forgot the P. Of patient Olivia P. Henderson, this session is being recorded. Hello, Olivia. Howdy again, Doc. Let's get started. First, can you state your current role with the responders? Well, let's see. I started as a volunteer, like most everybody these days. Didn't do much to help, then found out about the quarantine zone here, and knew this is where I want to be, or had to be. For the record, a quarantine zone at Morgantown Airport is where research and containment of the Scourge phenomena takes place. Yes, that'll be it. I don't think I'd call it by such a pretty word though, it's more of a nightmare. And your job here is to guard the quarantine zone and take care of the Scorched. Victims. Yes sir, it's my job to keep watch over those doomed souls and make sure they stay locked up. Can you tell us why you chose to take this job? Well, when that call went out for quarantine guards, it kinda had a disclaimer detached to the job role. I see. Can you explain? They said it was a permanent position, as in I'm permanently quarantined here too. The scourge are too dangerous and highly contagious, so I can never leave. And why did you decide to take the job? That one's easy, and I'm pretty sure I already told you. It's the cancer. Yes, you told me you were diagnosed with terminal cancer just shortly before the bombs. Yes, sir. But you've survived so long. The doctor said you had just a few years left in you, and you're still kicking. What do you think happened? That part I'm not sure about. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and maybe something with the radiation is slowing down the progress, or maybe it's in remission. Yeah, that one. Maybe it's in remission. Tell me about the other quarantine guard, Wyatt. Are you two getting along? Oh dear, Wyatt. Reminds me of my son, God rest his soul. He's a smart boy, unlucky as hell, but smart. Kid doesn't deserve what life's handed him. That's very true. I do have an assessment with Wyatt later this week. Be nice to him. He's become like family since we've been stuck in that airplane together. Will do. But I'm afraid they were out of time. That wraps up the assessment. Thank you for joining me today, Olivia. The responders do thank you for your service as well. We're truly grateful. Just keep delivering the liquor, Doc, and I'll be happy as a clam at high tide. Of course, it's the least we can do. End of transcription. Evaluation results. Results of continued interviews with Olivia have proven my initial hypothesis correct for the most part. Subject is aware, resourceful, mentally able, and psychologically fit to continue her work in quarantine. Subject also shows signs of stubbornness. Willful ignorance and cynicism will be kept an eye on any signs of background or latent depression. Anxiety is through the roof, but who isn't dealing with that? Recommendations. Continue evals of subject, perhaps at a slower pace. Every other month should be good for now. It's the other guard I'm more concerned about. Oh, we haven't found that one. Somerset. Oh, we've got a weapon. What for? We just got a weapon for something I didn't even do. Oh, thank you guys, whoever that was. Whoever just did that, thank you. I don't know who they was, but brilliant. Challenge complete. I didn't even do anything. Okay, I've got to find another... If I can find another... No, I can't find anything up here. There's got to be another hollow thing somewhere in there. Holotape. Boiled water. A bit of junk. It's junk. Nothing good. We got something over here. Maybe we'll find a holotape. Wonder who that is. What's in here? Okay, let's have a look at this. Welcome volunteer, KVU training, building camps. Okay. Find out. Listen to Volunteer Training Camp 101.
Responder Survivors Volunteer Program. Advanced Training. Camping by Miguel Caldera. Robot Programmer Extraordinaire. Part 1. Find finding the perfect camping location. Now that the world has changed, it's hard to stay safe. Used to be that camping was safe as houses. Well, until there was a strong wind, right? These days, nothing is really safe. Even in your camp, someone might hurt you. The perfect spot doesn't matter now. It's all about your defenses. You can build near people you trust who will watch your back, or build things that will watch your back for you. No problem. Anyone can do it. Remember, camps are mobile. We're all explorers now, camping in a strange land full of adventure, wonder, and danger. So, camp often, and rest a lot. Before the war, I was gonna retire and go camping. Now I can do it every day. Forever. It's a dream come true. What you love, right? Now come to my camp, and I can show you some knots and framing techniques. Then, I'll direct you onto some helpful supplies. Good luck, volunteer.
Miguel's terminal. Schematics, what's this? Bug reports. A comment might be in the future at some sort of description that says how hard these things are to build. Miguel's journal. Here we go. Hello world. It's been real hard being on my own since the bombs dropped, but the responders, they have it figured out. They got someone worked on vaccines and medicines and stuff. They even turn regular people into volunteers. I took all their survival training programs and passed with aces, so now I'm a responder too. Nifty, right? Of course. The score speeds scare me more than anything. It's why I joined the responders. I knew I couldn't live alone anymore, and they have stuff figured out. I just wish maybe they got along better with the Brotherhood. It's not us or them, it's all of us together. It's a shame. I used to be a programmer before the bombs fell, and well, guess what? I program robots now too. I mean, it's important work, I get it. I can help out in the lab too with the other programmers, and it's good to have company. They said they'd let me do some outdoor survival orienteering for new responders though, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm helping a couple of responders set up a base out in the Flatwoods for a bit. They think a bunch of survivors will start getting processed there, so I'm gonna go set up camps. I could do this forever. Camping under the stars and helping people out at the same time is the dream, you know. We're actually making progress. Oh man, I even got myself a new Protocon bodyguard today. It has an attitude problem though, but that's what happens when you put a bunch of parts together, randomly. Sometimes I called him Mr. Fluffy, which really irritated for some reason. Error. Metallic service is not fluffy. Error. Does not compute. I've said it before, so I'm going to need to write a program that resets their brains. This might take a while. Database. Flatwoods is rough. So many refugees, not enough responders. I'm going to start making advanced training courses for volunteers because there aren't enough of us to train everyone individually. Good news though, I met someone on the road between the airport and Flatwoods. Glad to have someone who will keep me company. It's a long walk and Mr. Fluffy the robot is not a good exercise partner. I wrote a program that will reset my Protocon's brain to settings that are a little more conventional for a robot instead of standing next to me day and night forever. Which is, I gotta say, really ruining my sex life right about now. I should have signed up for the Vault Tech stuff, but the thought of being in a tin can for 100 years was too terrifying. But here it is. Every day more of us die. I haven't seen a refugee in too long. If I'm going to get ripped to shreds, I'm doing it with a pot of Delbert's chili in the woods and under the beautiful stars. I refuse to die in an office, but I need to wait for Gary. Then we'll go together. All I've wanted to do since the bombs fell was help people and explore what's left of nature. But he's dead. Maria, Gary died this morning. It was just an accident. One of those things broke through the gate. I already buried him up on the hill with the others. What's the point here with any of this if we can't even protect ourselves? I'm going to my camp and I'll take my robot. I just need to figure things out. Restricted messages. Training volunteers. To all survivors. By now everyone has heard about what happened with Casey and the 2 young survivors that arrived from Sutton. It's tragic. There are no words, but he just didn't know. And they trusted him to know. So we decided that all volunteers must now start as volunteer candidates first, and during this time we will go over the basics now. Food, water, that sort of thing. Casey decided to travel into the mountains to clear his head. We tried to persuade him to stay, but it's his choice. Hope he'll return soon. The new kiosk should help us handle additional volunteers, should any arrive. Lately, most of the survivors are too injured to help themselves, let alone others, but they see the kiosk as a sign that people will be arriving soon to help. We need that hope. Self-serve kiosk seems to have some issues. The message of the day keeps cycling every hour and every time I add a new volunteer. It doesn't save the profile or send the information to the Admiral terminal. Interviews. We are the survivors, folks. We are learning how to live out here, and we need to preserve and distribute this knowledge. Do you know how to make clothing from animal hide? Determine a good berry from a poison one? Let's talk about it. Let's tell the world what we've learned. Welcome responders and volunteers. Thanks for working with us. As you know, we are trying to cope with the influx of survivors that need our help. The new volunteer program is going to help us concentrate on medical help while volunteers focus on basic survival needs. We are also collecting data for the responders database, which will help us rebuild Appalachia one day. So please contribute data when you can. Oh, here's the safe. Is that the safe now? Where was this safe? Take the fusion core. Sorry, robot. Not gonna help us anyway, is it, that robot? Can't interact with these, can we? No, can't interact with them anyway. What's that say? Don't touch. These things haven't worked properly since the last Scorch attack, so I've sealed them as is. Just don't. We don't need them right now anyway, Miguel. Pistol. Okay, my sweet Gary Bean. I'll be up at my camp. Marie is giving me a sanity day so I can relax. Join me. I hope you brought some of that comfort food from Flatwoods. We can have a picnic. Don't worry if any volunteers stop by to learn stuff. The robot should be able to take care of them. I wrote a whole program to deal with that so I can actually relax and enjoy the great outdoors with you now. Love you, my dear heart, Miguel. Let's read the next camp guide. Where is it? That one. Execute. Okay. Doesn't work. Study Dr. Hudson's research. I am trying to study it. I've got to explore though. That. Investigate, respond to Miguel's campsite. Talk to Grafton Mayor. It's up there, the camp. I bet he's dead, isn't he? I don't think we're going to find him alive. Mr.
Hey,
Fluffy?
Miguel, did you hear something? Of course not, because you're dead.
Because you're
Miguel
dead.
used to be laid back, but these days he's just intense. It never gets old. Unlike Miguel's decomposing remains, Miguel has some
Miguel.
schematics on his terminal.
Camping
in the
syllabus
airport,
1. Find a safe
and
spot. Be sure to look for
they
fresh
can
animal
program
or human
holotape
droppings nearby. Remember, if you find
and
doo-doo, better shoo
return
shoo.
here.
2. Use recycled materials to construct your tent. You can find scraps just about
You
anywhere. 3.
know,
Why have a
I've been
camp, cooking
gathered
stations, even
to
your own stash?
Miguel
Assignment
for
students should check in
years.
with any local responder and
Years
build a camp.
Standing here with his rotten
Search
corpse,
Miguel's terminal for
and
camp schematics.
You know what?
Who's that?
Camping.
Damn scorched! You destroyed Fluffy! You damn dirty people! Monsters! Come on, Fluffy, help me!
On the right side.
Search Miguel's
One
terminal for
day,
camp
when we
schematics.
build this good world, and I'll be here to see it. Ah, 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 ah.
Fluffy's just laughing. Ha 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 ha.
Don't have eyes.
I'll get rid of some things. I can level up. Can I level up my strength again? I'm open perk pack. Yeah, open it. Pack rat. Hey. Strength. Pack rat. Okay. Boom. Accept. Boom. Pack rat. Gladiator. Gunslinger. Can't do that. Charisma. Okay, that'll do. So we gotta go back down here and search Miguel's terminal for camp schematics. I'm nearly finished with this video. Let's get back to camp and have a look. Schematics. Okay, downloading schematics to device. Okay, give holotype to Miguel's Protocon. Back up there, isn't he? There we go, food and water. I'm a coming, Fluffy.
I told you, don't make that chili nearby. It smells too good. I
Build
could
a generator at
detect
your
it from
camp.
the
Open your pick
airfield.
line, press L1
Why
to build or relocate your
you
camp.
listen? Demonstrate your expertise and build a generator to power electric devices such as lights. Remember,
I've actually already got a generator there, I know.
devices with a
Yeah, we'll build it here. Build.
in record time and used to take
Build.
much more time. I guess that they knew all tech advancement.
Generators.
Maybe there's hope yet. If you go back to the responder database, I'm sure there's more training available.
Register for more advanced responder training.
Guess I'll just wait
Okay, so we've done that one.
for more of you.
Okay, I'm going to finish this video here, guys. In the next one, we'll go back to see if we could search for
So,
the Overseer.
see
Till then, guys,
again.
take care.